Really Reviews.
Hello, Niko.
Hello. Is the camera fine?
The camera looks to be fine. Yeah, we're on the third one right now, and now we're on you. We got a big one. We got a big special show today. I don't know. This will be fun. Something new that we're doing.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know, an idea you kind of had, I think, just to focus on one director that we both really love and talk about all of that director's movies, or at least all of them that we've seen.
Very generally.
Yeah. And
or we could get into specifics. I mean, we'll probably get into some specifics, but I don't know. I figured it'd be easy. We wouldn't have to really watch a movie. I mean, we both ended up watching a movie last night.
Yeah.
And you tonight.
Yeah, just before I came over here. But we're doing Christopher Nolan. That's
Yes.
someone that we both loved. I think probably an inspiration for us to start talking about movies together. I don't know. You've seen The Dark Knight a million times. I've seen The Dark Knight a million times.
Yeah, I remember watching Inception last year, and then I was asking you a bunch of shit, and then you were like, yeah, you need to watch Memento, and then I watched Memento over spring break, and I was like, oh my god, and then we talked about a bunch of shit, and then I watched Tenet at some point, and then I was asking you a bunch of shit about Tenet. So,
Did I get you on The Prestige too? I think I got you on The Prestige.
Yeah, you told me to watch Prestige, which we'll explain later, but like, I was like, no, there's no way this is a good movie. This was made between the Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and I was like, this is some throwaway. And oh my god, when we get into the rankings, people will see how good this movie is. But
yeah, the rankings will be. I think they're gonna surprise some people. We'll see.
I know mine already has a very surprising thing, and I feel bad for where I have one of my films ranked. I didn't love it as much as everybody else did. I still liked it, like a lot. I still loved it, but I don't think I loved it as much as the rest of his catalog.
Yeah, that's generally, I think, like what our consensus was everything was really hard to rank. Like they all are pretty, like he holds himself to a high standard clearly because all of his movies are at a similar level of production. Like it's just hard to like, I wouldn't say it's hard to like poke holes in the films, but like they're all just quality. It's hard to rank all 10. We did 10.
Yeah. No. Is it 10?
I think so.
1.
Do you not have 10?
3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it is 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
all right. Well, that's good.
Sorry.
Anyways, before we move any further, I have a surprise for you. So we're just going to talk about what we like about Nolan and his movies, and then we're going to get into our rankings. And then after that, I have prepared Christopher Nolan trivia for you.
Trivia,
yeah.
That was your surprise.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but
no, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what I know here. What are the stakes?
I have 8 questions.
Okay.
If you can get 7 of them right.
7 of them?
7 of them right, and then I'll give you a hint for one. So you got sort of a lifeline. You got a hint for one. I'll come up with some hint. If you can get 7 out of 8 right, I'll buy you lunch.
Oh, wow. These are some great stakes.
Yeah, see, everyone will be super excited to find out if you can get lunch.
And if I don't get 7 out of 8, I'm buying you lunch?
Yeah, no, you don't. I don't know. This can be a tradition we start maybe of just doing
for
trivia.
directors. Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean I'm going to do the trivia for the next one?
Yeah, exactly. I had to do some research for this. Did you
actually
do work?
I've done a lot of research and I've done like a lot of stuff, but I don't know what you're going to ask me. So there may just be like minute things.
There's some random facts, but everything's multiple choice. So you've always got a chance.
Oh, it's multiple choice?
Yeah, you've always got a chance. I think there's some easy ones in there too. So
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to test your knowledge, but you have to close your computer before we. There's no cheating allowed. You can't use your phone. I know, but yeah. Anyways, stay tuned for that. That'll be at the end of the episode. So you got to stay through and listen to the whole thing because we're going to be doing trivia and we're going to see if Niko knows anything or not.
Nope, don't know nothing.
Yep. But also, the trivia is very informative, and hopefully you'll learn something about Christopher Nolan and about movies and about the movie making process. I think it'll.
If you told me this, I would have tried to come up with questions for you. There's so many cool facts that I've learned from like about his movies that I would love to share, but like I don't have time to share all that.
Sure, and I mean we can probably talk about some of those. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Whatever, we'll get to it.
But yeah. Anyways, we both just watched Insomnia. And we won't share where that is in our rankings, but I think that's a good way to start off. Like, it was a movie that was very early on in his career. He did this one right after Memento. So Memento, I think a lot of people have at least heard of or seen.
Are we going chronologically through all of his films he's directed?
We can. I don't know. We can just go where we want to. But I know that those first 2 movies were like movies that he really wanted to make just so he could get bigger budgets for other movies. But to me, I don't know. To me, Insomnia...
Was it Insomnia or Memento first?
I don't know.
I thought
Check me on that.
I wrote on my sheet, Memento was 2000 and then Insomnia was 2002. I'll check.
Okay. Yeah, anyways, those 2 movies, after seeing this one, they feel very similar. Just like the style. I couldn't get over that. Like the style, the way it was edited. Like both movies revolve around a crime and a mystery. And Nolan does that very well.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, the style of just like the quick cuts. He did a lot of quick cuts back to like flashbacks and crime scene stuff. I don't know. I like the movie a lot. But I don't know. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say. Early on, it seems like when in those budget limitations, he relied more on his like story beats. And Memento really does it for me. Memento's a great movie.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Insomnia, I guess?
I liked Insomnia. I really liked it. Like a lot. Did you draw any parallels to what I was saying when I incorrectly said it was like, oh, it's like Seven, it's like Zodiac. It's not really.
There's some
like in
similar
the beginning, I kind of saw it. It was going to be some detective story, some whatever. But if anybody watches it, you will find out it's not really like any of that. It's kind of its own thing, and I'm glad. I don't know. I liked it, and for Christopher Nolan, it was completely different, and that's kind of something I really enjoyed about it.
Yeah, the thing I noticed about it more was like he was
writing a normal story that wasn't all convoluted with time.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to be, but like he really wrote a script he knew he had Robin Williams and Al Pacino, and he was like, I'm going to write for Robin Williams and Al Pacino. That's kind of how I felt.
Yes.
Like they were the ones who were the stars of the show, like the whole time. And I think, honestly, one of the best roles I've seen Al Pacino in, and I haven't always liked Al Pacino in everything I've seen him in. So like that's credit to Nolan for writing a script so good that it made Al Pacino, be able to shine. Because I think we both really liked him, right?
I thought he was great in the film. I also really liked Robin Williams. Yeah. I didn't know what his role was going to be until I actually watched the movie. I'm glad I went into this movie without reading too much. I think I just read like the title and a little subtext, and it was like LA detective goes to Alaska for some crime, and that's all I knew. Yeah, I was glad.
It was a good surprise. Anyways, that movie was good. We both really liked it.
Memento, as you said.
Memento. Getting into that.
Oh yeah, I said. Sorry. Memento was in 2000, and Insomnia was in 2002. So Memento was his first movie.
Okay, so yeah, Memento with Guy Pearce. Great performance in that movie. I think the story is the thing that shined there. I think so. I did want to mention this also. Just in both of those movies and in Nolan's movies in general, he writes with a lot of exposition. So that's just when the characters are just explaining what's happening in the movie. So it's just dialogue of the plot events, sort of explaining what it is. But he's one of the only writers of screenplays, because I think he writes most of his movies, that like pulls that off and isn't boring. Like Morbius was filled with that shit, but like,
what do you mean? Morbius was the greatest film ever.
A lot of Nolan's movies have that element, especially like more complicated ones like Inception and Interstellar. And we can get into those. Yeah. But it somehow works.
Tenet as well.
Oh, Tenet extremely, but it makes sense and it works because that is the draw of the movie. Anyways, I thought it was present even in Insomnia in a simple story. I thought there was a lot of exposition still.
Was there? I didn't notice it.
I thought there was more so than if you look at. I guess it makes kind of sense. Like mystery stories often have that, but yeah, I don't know. It worked. It's his writing style. It's very unique. It's somewhat. I don't want to say like robotic, but it's like more.
No, for Memento, it is robotic.
Yeah.
And is it spoil? It doesn't matter if we spoil these films. These are all old.
If you haven't seen these movies, go see them. But
when I was watching that, what a crazy movie. The whole, I have short-term memory loss. Yeah. And then he just completely forgets something like 2 minutes later. And the moment where my mind was like shattered in that movie was his new love interest in the film, when she's like crying. She comes into the house screaming, crying, whatever. And then she's like, I'm going to fucking do this, and I'm going to walk out, and you're not going to remember anything because you're a fucking idiot. And then she immediately walks out, and he can't remember anything. And I was like, oh my God, she's manipulating the hell out of him. And I didn't see that coming from like the whole film.
That movie and Insomnia, I think, super unique. And Memento especially, like, the way that story is told is just, like, there's nothing like it.
Right?
Yeah. There's nothing like it, the way it's edited, and I think Memento is really what got him on the map. Like, I think got the attention of big studios. Because I think he did Memento, and then he did
Insomnia,
and then
Batman Begins.
I think Batman Begins was the next one. Yeah,
and then he did Prestige.
Yeah, so I mean, Batman Begins.
I don't know how the hell I don't know how the hell he just signed with Warner Brothers and did a Batman movie, but good for you, Christopher Nolan. We're proud of you.
It's because of how great he did with Memento and Insomnia, I guess. You know, they saw the same thing we did. But let's get into that. Let's get into the Batman trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy.
What is there to say, Nick? Everything has been said about this trilogy.
It's incredible. It's just like
the best superhero franchise, probably.
Yeah. I mean, Batman's my favorite superhero.
Yeah, he's probably mine as well. Him or Spider-Man, I don't really care. But between the two, they're both great characters. They're both fun characters.
Yeah.
But like Nolan got to do whatever the hell he wanted, and it really showed with this film. With Batman Begins, at least. Yeah,
he's doing what he wants. He had the cast that he wanted. He had everything that he wanted, and this is what it looks like when you let a director who's got a lot of talent do what they want to do with a superhero franchise, because he nails it across the board. And I think it's almost unanimously, even among like comic book I shouldn't say that. It's the best. I don't know. It's the best superhero trilogy I've seen, like, ever, and I don't think anything from Marvel comes close.
I don't think so.
Or from DC.
I don't think any of those either.
Yeah.
I mean, I think The Dark Knight I would go as far to say as it is the greatest movie ever. Even though, like, that's such a stupid claim. I kind of wish I didn't even make these, like, comparisons in my head, because it's like you can't compare these subjective pieces of fiction, but it's so well told, it's so cohesive, it's so intricate. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just a perfect movie.
Yeah, there's not much you can change about it to make it better. I don't like making the claim of like greatest movie all time, like, because I think it's probably the greatest superhero movie that's ever been made currently. Sure. Like, not that it can't be topped one day. I'm still gonna keep an open mind for that. But
no. I don't think it can be.
Maybe not. We'll see. But like,
look, do you know how many superhero movies have come out since 2008?
No, I don't. But a lot.
A ton. Yeah, and none of them come close.
And that's a good point, because I think that's like he sparked a superhero movie revolution or superhero movie
agenda,
thing.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
because big studios, after they saw the success of these movies, were like, we can jump on this now. And so, you know, Disney, Marvel Studios just jumped on the opportunity and started building their universe pretty much right after. Iron Man came out when?
Iron Man came out,
I want to say it was 2007 or 2008.
That sounds right.
I mean, I remember seeing it as a kid, getting the Happy Meal Iron Man toys. You know, I was probably 7 or 8 years old at the time, so that would make sense. But
2008.
Yeah, see, so like that's a year, the same year as The Dark Knight, actually. Same year as The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight actually, Monday, just July 18th, yesterday. It has been out for 14 years.
Wow.
It doesn't say when Iron Man.
It doesn't feel that old. It really doesn't feel that old.
Oh, Iron Man came out April 14th, 2008. So what, 2 months, 3 months before The Dark Knight?
Sure, but I mean, Batman Begins was already a big hit.
Yes.
At that point.
Sorry.
But yeah, anyways. And of course, Marvel movies have just skyrocketed at the box office since. But yeah, anything you want to say particularly about those movies? Personally, like, I love Batman Begins. I think it's a fantastic movie. Like, I think as a comic book movie, I was always a Batman fan. I watched all the early movies from the bad ones too. I watched the Tim Burton ones with Michael Keaton.
I've seen all of them too. You've seen the cartoons as well.
Yeah, the cartoon, the 90s animated show, and then some of the animated movies. Like, right? I'm a huge Batman fan. I even read the Batman comics for a while.
I read comics too. Yeah, it's
Batman Begins.
The video games,
the Arkham video games.
Like anything Batman, I bet you and I have both done it. I mean,
or heard
read
it,
seen it, heard it, whatever.
Yeah, so like that's
exciting to see a very quality product from that enterprise.
And I don't want to say quality, but like all of the movies are quality products and they're great movies. but like as a comic book movie, like some of the like goofy, lighthearted tone, but also keeping it dark to that character for Batman Begins is what I love about that movie specifically. Like I think it has a lot of spirit, and I don't know where you have it in your rankings, but you might not like that movie as much. But for me, it's like one of my favorites, and like that movie really like seeing it first sort of as a young kid and then seeing it later on. I don't know. It is one of those movies that changed the way I looked at movies and like what they could do as a medium.
Yes.
I guess that sounds like I'm just trying to be deep or something.
No, I know what you mean. Like I had a Batman birthday cake, and it had like the fucking Batman on a glider, and it was from that Batman Begins movie. Like that movie really blew up, and it just changed everything about comic book movies and like the whole reputation, I think, of comic book films. And I mean, to its credit, it made 2 more films just based around Batman, and good for them.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what else
good
you
for
can.
Nolan.
There's really nothing else you can say. Batman Begins was the most stylized of the 3, and it was stylized in a way that I liked it, which I typically don't like stylized films. We'll talk about that some other day. We don't have to talk about that now, but I don't know. Good for them. After Batman, The Dark Knight.
Let's just wrap up the trilogy. The Dark Knight Rises, a lot of people have problems with. I kind of do too. I think it's a little too grand of an ending, but I think it's still a great movie. I watched it recently. I know you did too. Is there anything you want to say about that? Because I think I'll rave about Batman Begins and The Dark Knight all day and say they're both like awesome. The Dark Knight Rises.
I loved it. I still loved it.
Okay, I still love it too. Like it's a great movie.
I still think it's great. Yeah, and I think the grandness of it matches Nolan and the rest of his catalog so well.
That's
honestly.
True. I just don't think it matches the other 2 movies as well. That's what I think.
Maybe not, but even then, I really don't care. It's Batman to me personally. Just throwing Batman on it, and if the story is still somewhat quality, I'm gonna like it even more. I'm just gonna be biased, and I'll admit it. I don't know where I don't remember where I put it in my ranking.
That's fair. I mean, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
You were going to say, what are the movies?
So there was Prestige. We didn't even talk about Prestige.
We didn't talk about Prestige.
That was in between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Yeah. And it has no business being as good as it is. It's just so amazing. I love that movie. Like, it's one of my favorites. Not to spoil our rankings, but it's high up there.
It's up there for me as well. For everything that I've heard about Nolan dedicating all of his time between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, I'm surprised that we got a very, very good product in The Prestige.
I don't know how that script was that good. Like, how did he find that? I think he wrote it, didn't he? Or wrote it with someone.
I don't know.
Like,
I didn't read it.
Regardless, like, the first time I saw that, if you have not seen The Prestige, go see The Prestige. It's one of the best movies. Well, it's one of my favorite movies.
That's the biggest Nolan sleeper film I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Heard of.
And I think that's one of the only ones. I guess that's happened for a lot. Like that's one of the only ones Nolan has done where I was really like completely clueless as to what was going to happen next at like several points in the movie. There are several twists that just completely fooled me the whole time. And there's not a lot of movies that do that. I watch a lot of movies. Like I usually see when things are coming. I don't know if that happened with you, but the first time I watched The Prestige, I had no idea when a lot of stuff was coming.
That was another movie I actually texted you about after you told me to watch it. You were like, "Oh, it's just like 2 magicians. I'm not going to tell you anymore." And I was like, "What the fuck? 2 magicians? Why would I want to watch this?" Movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
And let me say, are we on my camera?
Yeah, we're on yours.
Okay, so all of the Nolan films that he's famous for, The Dark Knight,
Inception,
Dunkirk, Inception. What else is there?
Interstellar. Everyone knows
Interstellar.
that.
Those are his like top 4, right?
Probably most famous. Yeah.
Yes. The Prestige should be up there. I don't know why it's not.
Yeah.
I really don't know why it's not.
It just got overshadowed by the Batman movies. That's what happened with it.
I mean, that's tough, but like the movie is so good.
It is fantastic. It's
whatever.
There aren't enough good things I can say about it.
I know. Really, there's not. Next. So we talked about Dark Knight, Tenet. No, we didn't talk about Tenet yet. That's later. Okay, Inception. That was in between The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Inception in 2010.
Yes. Yeah, I closed this because there's a weird reflection. Anyways.
Inception, fantastic movie.
Great movie.
Fantastic movie.
A lot of the stuff that he did with his practical effects. He's obviously famous for the practical effects. A lot of that stuff very cool.
The godfather of practical effects in my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and he's one of the only people that like really, really, really fights to keep practical effects alive.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I admire most about him is just the dedication he takes. In Tenet, they crashed a full Boeing 747 into a building. Batman: The Dark Knight Rises, they actually dropped that fucking plane from the first scene. Like, that was physical. That happened.
Really?
That, yeah. Dark Knight, they flipped the whole truck. Oppenheimer, I bet they're gonna drop a nuke. Like, I think they'll drop a nuke.
they'll go to international waters.
It is what it is.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Inception, I think, is a really good example of. I think it is the movie that he always wanted to make but didn't have the budget for, and it's an example of like him using a big budget to its like maximum capabilities with practical effects. If you haven't seen that or at least heard of it, I don't know.
I think everybody's heard of the rotating hallway scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was an actual rotating hallway. Like, that was 100% real, and that was crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean the concept of the movie, the selling point is dreams within dreams. So, you know,
the tagline that they have for their posters is "The dream is real." So, like,
yeah.
That's all I'll say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think that one's better. The less you know.
The less you know, the more your mind gets warped. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it's a great movie. I think really compelling characters in it too.
Yeah.
Great performance from Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for? You know, you got Leo in a movie. You got his big budget finally. Congrats, Nolan. You're finally making the movies you want to in 2010.
Okay, so we did Dark Knight Rises, which would be 2012. 2014 is Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar.
If you're on TikTok, you've heard the Interstellar main theme.
Okay.
It's
a Hans Zimmer score.
I'm
right?
just throwing that out there.
We can't go through this without mentioning Hans Zimmer. He does the scores for a lot of Nolan's movies, and they're all fantastic. Hans Zimmer's a legend.
I honestly don't know how many he's done, but
I think he's done most.
I know he's done over 50%.
Except for Tenet. I think he's done most of them, except maybe not the original. They're the first two we talked about. And then
did he do Batman Begins? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did all of
Mr. Hans Zimmer. I'm so sorry, we don't know. We will do better.
But he's great. He did the score.
We love
for
your music. We love your scores.
I know he was on Interstellar.
I do know that too.
Do you like that movie?
I loved Interstellar.
Okay.
I loved all of his movies. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think he has a single bad movie.
I don't either. I think Interstellar gets lost in itself a little bit. I think it's a little bit too grand, and I think the plot gets a little bit too.
Okay, but here's this. This is trivia for you. Did you know that they went to actual astronauts and everybody who was actually in the science field, and they didn't know what the black hole would look like, so they punched that into a calculator, into a simulation, and it actually spit out that image, and then people wrote actual scientific theses based off that movie.
That's cool. I always had science teachers telling me,
wild
yeah,
to me.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I don't get me wrong, that is wild, but like,
it has to be grand. It has to get lost in itself, I think.
Yeah, I guess when you're tackling a concept like that big, like that movie does,
right?
It's It's a good movie. It's a fun time. It's not a fun time. It's a good movie.
Fun time.
Okay, I guess I don't know. It's a good movie if you want something that's really gonna blow your mind.
Yes.
But I think that 2001: A Space Odyssey blows my mind a little more, and it's a better movie.
No, incorrect. That's an incorrect statement, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's a better movie. I don't know. I think
Nick has a few hot takes. That's like his hottest take. Right
I don't think that's that hot of a take.
No, he's gonna have a hotter take when he hears my rankings. Anyways.
Okay, maybe we'll see. But like, I don't know. It just okay. I like a really well written, tight, compelling story, and that movie like it was somewhat compelling and it was fine. Also, I think Matthew McConaughey's character for me, I don't know if I loved like all of Nolan's lead characters. Matthew McConaughey might be my least favorite. In that movie, I'm just gonna say
after watching Insomnia.
Yeah, I liked Al Pacino.
You liked Al Pacino?
I did. I liked Al Pacino, and I thought the script fit him more.
That was the lowest film you have.
Well, you're spoiling the rankings, but yes, Insomnia is my lowest.
It's my lowest too. I'm gonna spoil that for both of us.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about Interstellar. It's a great movie. Go watch it. If you want a grand science thing that'll make you question a lot of things about life, go watch it.
Sure, go watch it. Okay, so that was 2014 Interstellar. Dunkirk is 2017.
This is another one of my favorites.
One of his better films.
I think it's just it's one of those things that it's grand, but it's also very tight in its story. I think all the performances are like pretty much flawless, and I'm glad he was the one to tell that story, because I think that it fit his, like, the story of what happened on that day in the war fits his directing style and editing style very well.
Yeah. I'm surprised he even brought time into it somehow.
Yeah.
For what that movie was supposed to be about. I'm surprised. I was like, what the hell? Why is this happening now? And I was like, oh, never mind. It's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
he's just going to mess with the time. And I don't know if I was correct, or if this is correct, but it was like, what? The 3 main stories you follow, you see the second half of all 3 in the beginning of the movie. And then at the middle of the movie, you see the first half of those 3 stories, right?
That is correct from what I remember. It's one of those movies that's worth multiple viewings. I've only seen it like 1.5 times, so I need to see it more.
I need to watch that again. But that's a great film.
It's great. It tells the story in a super compelling way.
I liked how you got to see through that whole conflict, if you will. You see on land, on waters, on sea, and you see it in the air. So you kind of covered all 3 of those bases of your military armed branches.
Yeah, and it's a great war movie for people who like war movies. People I've talked to that love war movies, they say that it's fantastic and they like it. And
I hope so.
And my grandpa was a big history buff, and I remember talking with him about that when the movie came out, and he watched it and he liked it. So that movie's great for
when Harry Styles was shooting up bad guys.
Harry Styles was great in that movie. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he does more as an actor. I thought he was fantastic. Like I was surprised to see him be so good, but he was great.
I told you this the other day, or like maybe a couple weeks ago, that Nolan didn't know Harry Styles was a singer.
That's incredible. I mean, that's a testament. So funny. That's a testament to, like, he did his job as an actor so well that this great directors saw the talent, and he did a great job in the movie. Yeah. Anyways, on to the next one.
Okay, so Dunkirk was 2017. 2020 is his most recent film that's come out, which was Tenet. Oh my God.
Tenet.
Oh my God. I think you have a love-hate relationship with this movie. Whoever watches this, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I personally love this film.
I know you love it. It had a weird release.
It was during COVID.
Like, I was really excited about it.
He was pushing for theatrical release.
Yeah, well, and I think he eventually did get it. I think it might have gotten delayed, or did it just
come out when it was supposed to? It got delayed a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a weird thing for that. It's also by
I think
far,
like half of the movie was filmed during the pandemic too. That's why it was delayed. So not only did they want it to come out in, I think, 2019, but they just didn't finish shooting and they had to just work on it.
Yeah, it's for me, it's his by far most complicated movie, and so that sucks that they had to just film some of it during the pandemic. But like, the finished product is great. It's a great movie.
Yes,
it's
a fantastic movie.
You love this movie so much.
I don't know if this is. Am I in the frame here?
I'll put.
Is this in the frame?
I think it's in the frame with you. Yeah.
Is this in the frame? If you don't see this in the frame, here.
They can see it. Yeah.
I went to eBay to buy Indian Pisces
I have
coins,
no idea what
Indian
it is.
coins, just to make my own Neil backpack keychain. This movie is so good. This changed my life when I watched this movie. I know that sounds dramatic, but
I like it. I like the movie. I've seen it twice.
I have too. For all the effort that went into this movie, to having people act like they're in reverse, having to reverse shots, actually blowing up a full plane into a building, it's incredible.
It is. It's very grand. There's a lot of stuff I really like about it. I like the score, which isn't a Hans Zimmer score, but it's really good.
I don't remember who does it.
I don't remember who does it either, but it fits the movie very well. I just think it leaves the narrative and it leaves character sometimes behind. I think there's one performance that really stands out, and I think it's Neil.
Yeah.
The keychain guy, played by Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Other than that, I honestly didn't like any of the characters.
I hate you.
We'll get into it more when we do our rankings. We'll talk about it. But yeah, that's the synopsis of his career, and now he's moving on to work on Oppenheimer,
which is likely going to come out 2023, 2024. I don't know when exactly. But.
Yeah, I mean it's slated for 2023, but obviously could be delayed. Anyways, do you want to get into our rankings?
Sure.
I think we've been raving about his movies. All of these movies are good. I think both of us would probably encourage you to go out and see any of the top 5 movies that we have that you haven't seen.
I'd say even my least favorites, go watch them. I would recommend any of these things.
Yeah, any of them we recommend. I mean, we wouldn't be doing this episode if we didn't love all these movies.
Okay. Do you want me to start or do you want to go first?
I'll just say it first. We've already spoiled. I think both of us have Insomnia at number 10. So
okay,
that's where we're at. Insomnia number 10, and then I'll go my number 9, and you can do your number 9, and we'll go down the list like that.
So you want to go from least favorite to favorite?
Yeah, so we're going least favorite to favorite.
Okay,
so number 10 is Insomnia, the one we just watched, and I still really liked it. It's a really unique movie for Nolan especially, but just not as tightly written, I think, as Memento, which is the one that came before it, and other than the performances, it doesn't have like a ton going for it that really makes it stand apart for me.
Okay, sure.
Anything else you want to say about that?
No, that's fair. To an extent.
But yeah, something had to be number 10. I didn't really want to put it number 10, but I put it there. Number 9 for me, Interstellar. And for the reasons I already said, I think just a little too grand for itself sometimes. It leaves the story behind a lot, and I didn't really love the lead from Matthew McConaughey. What's your number 9?
I wanted to jump out the window. I'm not going to lie. I really wanted to jump out the window when I was ranking this.
It was tough.
I put Inception as my 9.
Okay. Wow.
I loved the film. I loved all of his movies, even fucking Insomnia. But I don't know. Looking back on all of Nolan's films, I just didn't think Inception was as favorited as the others were.
Yeah, I
kind of just don't remember. There were so many characters. So many great actors, I must say, but I just don't remember anybody. I just remember Leo's character, Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember anybody
Joseph
else.
Gordon-Levitt was pretty good.
I don't know what his character's
Elliot
name was.
Page was good as well.
I don't remember her.
Yeah, they're just not. Tom Hardy's also in the movie, who was really good.
Don't remember his character.
Yeah.
Don't remember anybody's characters.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy's in it.
That's true.
I completely forgot about that until I remembered, oh my god, he's like the guy who they go into his head.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't let the actor, it has a great cast, it doesn't let them shine as much.
The cast is huge.
This is Nolan doing what he wanted to do with his crazy conceptual stuff.
This or Tenet is like him at his most.
Yeah.
And that's
and Interstellar, I think. I think both of us, Interstellar is too. Both of us have those grand movies sort of at number 9. That I think you maybe think you missed more on Inception than I did, and I think you missed on Interstellar more. But
yeah, I need to go watch Inception again.
Yeah, to each his own. Let's do number 8. I'll do number 8. I have Tenet at number 8.
What is wrong with you? This is unbelievable.
I still really, really like the movie.
Clearly you didn't.
I wish I liked the villain more. The villain played by Kenneth Branagh. I love Kenneth Branagh and everything I see. I think he's great in Dunkirk, the other movie on this list that he's in. But he was very weak. He was thin. He was as thin as a lot of Marvel villains. He just wasn't. I didn't care about him, and honestly, I didn't care about the protagonist.
But that's okay for everything that they do in this movie and how they made this movie.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And I guess I like the fact that they let the concept of the inverse time stuff shine, and it's good. Anyway, we can talk more about that when you rave about it, when you have it at the top of your list, but we'll go.
Nick, you can't give that away.
I don't know where it is. You haven't told me. Go to your number 8.
My number 8 was The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Compared to some of those other movies, I don't know if it really stands on its own 2 feet as well as something like, obviously I have Interstellar above it.
Okay.
For example, I just think that stands a little bit more grand. I think that stands a little bit clearer, a little bit better than The Dark Knight. I think it really was able to throw its weight around in parts where it wanted to, and then some parts where it wasn't so sure it was, I don't know.
Yeah, I have it at number 7. I'm just gonna give my number 7 away. So we can just continue the conversation about it. I agree with you to an extent. I think it doesn't stand on its own compared to the other 2 Batman movies. Obviously, we already said that, but like, I have it just a little bit above Interstellar because I like the performances of the cast, and The Dark Knight Rises a lot better. And I think it does, despite being a little bit lost in itself sometimes, I think it does conclude that trilogy very well. The ending is very good. I like it, and I think it was a satisfying ending for that trilogy, which I can't say for a lot of trilogies, movies, and stuff like that. So I got to give it credit there. That's why I have it at number 7. What do you have at number 7?
I have Interstellar.
Okay.
I don't know. I just loved the grandness of the film. Like, I just think it really was something that nobody's seen before. I mean, sure, you could say 2001, but it's slightly different. Like, they just...
It is.
I mean, granted, technical limitations, but even then, Nolan didn't use too much CGI. He didn't use too many things that weren't possible back then. Like, TARS, that was a dude. Like, actually just a guy behind, like, some little blocks. Oh. And I just, like, thought that shit was crazy. That they just were able to do so many cool things. And I don't know. That's just why I have it a bit higher than some of those other films.
Yeah, okay, so I see where you're coming from there. I think where something like 2001 is mainly focused on like existential questions. Mm-hmm. Not saying Interstellar isn't, because it obviously is. Yeah. But like that movie focuses more on the science of it and the cool stuff. And the movie does so many cool things practically with budget stuff. It's really cool.
They filmed in like Antarctica, like in the waters of Antarctica, I think.
Yeah, a lot of really impressive stuff. I mean, yeah, a lot of really impressive stuff on that note, but I don't know. I tend to like the more like existential questioning, more obscure stuff, and that's why I think 2001 is a far better movie.
Okay, fair enough, I guess. I wouldn't say far, but sure.
Should I give my number 6?
Yeah, go for it.
I have Inception. You already said, I think, the reason why it's out of my top 5. I was debating putting it in, but then I was like, you know what? It's really not as compelling of a story and doesn't have as many compelling characters other than Leo's character. I think Leo's character is really the only one that I like, Cobb. And
like, I liked everybody. I just don't remember anyone.
Yeah, his arc's really the only memorable one. And the movie's really good, and it does a lot of stuff that's really cool, practically, that, you know, both you and I have talked about before with the spinning room scene and other things.
Yeah.
So, got to give it credit there. But, yeah, Inception is my number 6. What about you?
This was really tough. I put Memento.
Okay.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I mentioned it earlier. There's like the one scene where the love interest comes into the house, completely manipulates him, and you're just like, oh my god, what the hell is happening? Yeah. And I couldn't put myself into Lenny's shoes, and I just could never imagine that. But I forget who the one guy is, the mustachioed man. Yeah. I always just thought his charisma, his character was just so fun to watch.
Oh, he was.
And I mean, I think that's why it's probably one of my favorite films, even if it doesn't look like it's too high on my list. It should be. Yeah.
For me, it snuck into the top 5. Memento. I've seen it multiple times. I think the first time I saw it, it was like a life-changing experience because of like, I was like, wow, this is edited so cool. Like the way this story is written is so cool. I think it's linear without being linear. It's a linear story. It's a simple story. It's a little basic, but it just does everything so well. Mm-hmm. So you got to give it credit there.
So you just said Memento for your 5th film.
Memento's my number 5, so it barely sneaks into my top 5, but it is a top 5 Nolan film for me. So I think, yeah, top 5 for me. Like, it snuck in there because it was just so unique. It's not like anything I've ever seen.
Yes, and I think it's because people just didn't. I don't know if everybody loved that whole idea of, oh, I don't remember this, I don't remember this, I don't remember this, I don't remember this, I don't remember this. The whole film, which I loved it. I thought the way that they just kept explaining different things and you learn different things as he's going through and he's learning things, even granted he forgets it. As the viewer, I remember it, and I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, and I think it's the start of him really liking to mess with the viewer and their concept of time.
Right.
Which is what he goes and does in all of his movies, obviously.
So that was my 6. That was Nick's 5. My 5 is Batman Begins.
Okay.
I love Batman Begins. This was probably one of the first Batman pieces of media I ever watched or seen.
Me too, yeah.
So I love it. I had a birthday cake, I said. Like, Batman Begins was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more stylized than the other two films, which is not bad.
I love it.
I like it too. But I don't know. I don't think I could have placed it any higher on my list.
Sure. I have it in number 4.
Okay.
So jumping right into my number 4. We're not really too far off. I thought it would be a little, I guess, well, we'll see. So get to our top ones. But like I have Batman Begins at number 4 just because I love it so much. I already talked about it earlier in the podcast. I loved it. What's your number 4?
Dunkirk. I have Dunkirk at my 4.
Okay.
Again, Dunkirk is fantastic.
Yeah.
Quality wise, no, I think it's about 4, even quality wise.
Yeah, I think quality wise for me, like production wise, I think it's his best, honestly.
You think that's his best?
Well,
I do. He's got some heavy hitters, Nick.
He does have some heavy hitters, but I think that like I don't know. It's so well done.
I thought
there's not a like bad shot in that movie.
I just thought the story was a little bit too simple for all of his stuff.
Sure, but it also is historically accurate. Like
yes,
he wants to hit that.
Right, so I can't say that's wrong. Like,
that's
I can't
why,
say any of it's like bad.
Yeah, so. That's why it's not higher in my list. I have it at number 3. I think it's his third best movie, or my third favorite movie. That's why I have it at number 3. It's the story wise, it doesn't, not that he could have done a lot. It's a war story, but still really great movie. I highly recommend it. What's your number 3? I guess we're kind of running through this. This is good. We're moving.
I mean, we're at 40 minutes.
This is gonna be an hour-long podcast.
That's fine. I would gladly talk about Nolan for 5 hours. My number 3 is The Prestige.
Okay.
Honestly, it should be like a top 2, but like I just loved Tenet like nobody else has ever loved Tenet. That Prestige is number 3 for me. It just has to sit right at 3.
I get it, but I'm excited to see, or I'm interested to see what you have your top 2 as.
Well, you know one of them.
Yeah, I know one of them. Well, I know both of them are, but I don't know which one is which spot.
You know it.
But
you know it whether you think
let's reveal our number 1s now.
Wait. What's your number 2?
Well, no, I'm not gonna say. We'll just do it. I think it's more suspenseful to lead up to the number 1 here because we have.
Okay, you want to know what the number 1 is?
Yeah, what's your number 1?
The Dark Knight.
Okay, well, me too then. I guess.
Everybody knows that The Dark Knight is a great movie.
My number 2 is The Prestige, and what's your number 2?
Tenet.
Okay, I was between putting. Before we get into a debate here about Tenet, I was between putting The Prestige at number 1 and The Dark Knight. Like, I honestly I couldn't bring myself to dethrone The Dark Knight.
Whether that's Batman bias or not, The Dark Knight is a quality film.
I do. It's just one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like, it really story beats, nails everything correctly. Editing is very cool in that movie. It's just great. Heath Ledger is just there's not there's not a better villain performance that has ever happened.
Right?
Yeah.
I think maybe my closest villain performance ever would be like Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fantastic movie, but like this, as you said this is the greatest villain performance you'll ever see.
It really is.
The Dark Knight, no matter how many times I've watched it, having fucking seen it in theaters when it came out at 6 years old with Dino. Shout out Dino. Nick fucked up the recording.
Sure.
Something happened. We had technical difficulties.
But
we're back.
You were talking about The Dark Knight.
I don't know what I was talking about. Just like the movie, every time I watch it, I'm just so excited. Even though I know what's going to happen, I'm still excited watching it.
Yeah.
And I've never experienced the thrill. It's like, imagine you're in one of those 300 miles an hour trains in Europe, and I'm just firing sniper rounds down the train, right? It's the fastest moving bullet ever, and it's incredible.
It really, that's a good way to explain it. It doesn't have a slow moment. Not at all.
Even its slowest moment is fast.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen this movie, weirdly, I guess, on a plane. I've seen it on, 5 or 6 different plane rides. When I was younger, a teenager, I had, only a few movies downloaded on my, iPad or something, and this was one of them. And I just watched it, every plane ride that I could. That was what I did.
Well, that was a good decision.
It was. I've seen this movie more than I have any other movie. And then The Prestige, not enough good things I can say about that. It's my number 2 for him for a reason.
I don't know if there's much we can really talk about, just because
I don't want.
It's better to watch that movie without knowing it.
Yeah, I don't want to. It's about two magicians.
That's all it is. We are two magicians.
Yep, exactly. It's about me and Niko. Explain why you love Tenet so much. It's really not. It's not top 5. It's not top 5.
Tenet is a top 2 movie all time.
Are you kidding me?
The Dark Knight and Tenet are the 2 greatest films ever.
Are you kidding me?
Even if it's not, it is. I don't know. Like, just technically, I'm astonished by that film.
Yeah.
And there's never going to be anything like it.
I am too. I'm technically astonished by it, but like, what else is it good at? Like, that's my question. Like, what else is it good at? The story's not great in my opinion.
It's got some slick characters. The story is a fine linear story. It's not any stupid.
The protagonist is boring. The villain is boring.
You're boring. They go backwards. They fucking go backwards.
Yeah,
Nick.
they go backwards. Everyone moves backwards. It's
That's
cool.
sick.
It is sick. I agree, but like, it's
the handoff scene. Oh my god. My realization when I saw that, I was like actually like flabbergasted.
Yeah. And Nolan nailed that twist. So Nolan nailed the concept, Nolan nailed the twist. That's why I have it higher than 10th on my list.
You're such a hater.
Whatever.
You are such a hater.
We agree on pretty much everything else, which I guess I kind of expected us to.
Nolan is he poured everything into Tenet, Nick.
I hope he pours everything into Oppenheimer, however you say it.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be great. I know it's going to be. And
if they drop a nuke, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. Even if it's not. Even if it's like the most Morbius movie I've ever seen. If he drops a nuke, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
I love Cillian Murphy, too. I feel like I'm going to love that movie. Cillian Murphy's the lead. He's playing Oppenheimer.
Let me just add. Cillian Murphy, he's been in like almost every single Chris Nolan film. He's like
That's true. Michael Caine's another one.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I forgot about Michael Caine. He's also in. I think he actually has a feature, or he is like an Easter egg in every single film. He was in Dunkirk, and I didn't know that he played like a British fighter pilot in an old war movie, and in this one he is on the radio to Tom Hardy's character as a British fighter pilot. So like he's in every movie.
Yeah.
Except Insomnia and Memento. I don't think he's
he's not in Memento.
So he's not in those two, but everything else he's in.
Yeah. Another great...
Interstellar?
Yeah. He is.
Yes, he's the...
Yeah. But anyway, those are our rankings. I think... are you satisfied with your rankings? I feel like my list is pretty solid. I don't think
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I really loved Inception and all those, but like, I don't think I rank them higher than what I have already.
Fair enough. I think I'm... Yeah, I liked everything on the list. I liked all the movies. I think we ranked this... Had to be lower.
We ranked this more as favorite and not as favorite, like least favorite versus...
No, there's nothing subjective about this. It's a completely factual list. This... Mine, not yours. Mine's factual.
Okay. Oh, yeah? Well, then you know Tenet is a top 2 movie of all time, right?
No. Ours... These lists are obviously subjective, but I think if you have listened to this podcast and you're listening this far into the episode, even after our technical difficulties, like you know how we think and what we like, and I think if your views are similar to what ours are, then your rankings would probably be similar to ours in some ways. But
hopefully more.
Let us know if they aren't.
Tenet number 2.
Tenet's just all right. Anyways, trivia time. It's trivia time.
I forgot about the trivia.
Yeah, it's trivia time. There's a lot on the line here.
Oh my god.
There's a lot on the line.
Is Niko gonna buy, or is Nick gonna buy lunch?
Yeah, am I gonna buy you lunch? That's the question. You get to choose where we go, and so
which is what we already do always.
You can no, but this time you get to choose because I'm buying.
Whatever,
so you get to choose. You could even choose Chipotle.
Oh wow!
Which I vomit up just
Nick's
endlessly.
tummy doesn't like Chipotle for those watching.
Yeah,
or listening.
I've vomited Chipotle like at least 6 times in my life. They're doing something there that's not. We need to get the
how many E. coli,
the health department in there.
You know how many E. coli breakouts they've had like over the years? Like I think there's at least one every year.
I don't know what my
people
deal
be
is,
pooping in the water.
Yeah, something's going on there. Something's going on. I don't know if they give the employees soap in the bathroom, but
no.
You could choose Chipotle. You could force me to buy you Chipotle.
Chipotle is good. Let me just go on record. Anywho, Sure,
No, we're slandering Chipotle.
No, let's see.
It's a fact. I vomited Chipotle.
If Chipotle wants to sponsor
We're
this
not.
podcast,
I don't actually. I would decline them.
what's wrong with you? You just give me your stuff, and I could benefit from
Yeah,
this.
they've just vomited.
Something wrong.
They've made me vomit. They give me vomit juice.
Anywho, Christopher Nolan, if you are listening to this, we'd love to interview you, please.
We would love to interview you, and hopefully all of my trivia is factual about you and your movies and your life. Because if it's not, I'd love to be corrected. Jesus Christ. Okay, actually, that wasn't that bad.
Another one?
It was another little hiccup.
We're just going to hear, Jesus Christ.
Okay, we're fine. All right. First question. Niko, there are 8 questions. You have to go over the rules again. There are 8 questions.
Multiple choice.
They're all multiple choice.
Just go. We're
No,
recording
you
too
get
long.
one hint. So tell me when you want a hint.
That's fine. That's
All right.
fine. We're recording too
All right.
long.
No, we're not. This is fine. This will be a long episode. This is for the true fans. This is the trivia.
The 3 of them out there.
Yeah. All right.
We appreciate
Close
all
your
of them.
laptop, by the way. Yeah, there you go. All right. No cheating allowed. Question number 1. For Nolan's breakout film, Memento, in 2002, who wrote the short story that the screenplay was based on? So Nolan wrote the screenplay, but who wrote the short story that the screenplay was based on? Was it A, his wife, Emma Thomas?
No, it's his brother.
Was it B, his father?
It's his brother.
You're
I know.
ruining all the suspense.
I know it's his brother.
Okay.
I know
What's
that
his brother's name then?
I don't know his brother's name, but
Okay.
I know it was his
Well,
brother, and his
alright.
wife produced it.
You get it. Yes, you get it correct. That's true. His brother Jonathan Nolan is the person who wrote it. But don't just shout out the answer. We got to keep the suspense going for the fans.
Okay, sorry.
B
I'm so sorry.
B
Frank.
was his father, whose name is Brendan Nolan. I don't.
Next.
If you can do anything with
Who
that.
are the other options?
All right, don't. No, that was it. I only had 3 for that one.
Okay.
All right. Number 2. Nolan is famous for loving to use IMAX cameras. What is the first film that he used IMAX cameras on? Is it A, The Prestige in 2006, B, The Dark Knight in 2008, or C, Inception in 2010? This is a tough one.
Fuck.
This is a tough one.
I would think it's The Dark Knight. But I don't know if he had it for The Prestige. I think it's The Dark Knight. It's probably wrong, but I think it's
Is that your final answer?
Yeah,
The
it's
Dark Knight? B, The Dark Knight? You're correct.
It was The Dark Knight?
You're correct. It was
Okay.
The Dark Knight. He didn't use it for the entire film,
No.
but he used some shots as IMAX. The original Batman Begins actually screened in IMAX, and so a lot of people think that it was shot in IMAX, but it was not. That movie was just had its resolution changed. It's a widescreen. If you don't know what IMAX is, it's a widescreen sort of big camera. Actually, I read a quote doing my research. Nolan describes it as VR without the goggles. So hopefully, I think that's a true quote.
Way to go,
but-
Chrissy.
Anyway, you're 2 for 2 so far. You got to get 7 out of 8 though. Yeah, you only have 1 miss. Which actor? This is number 3. Which actor that appears in the Dark Knight trilogy, appears in the Dark Knight trilogy, auditioned for the role of Bruce Wayne, but was not cast as Bruce Wayne, obviously, because Christian Bale got the role. Was it A, Cillian Murphy, who played Scarecrow? Was it B, Tom Hardy, who played Bane? Was it C, Aaron Eckhart, who played Two-Face? Or was it D, Michael Caine, who played Alfred?
Michael Caine. I know it's Cillian Murphy. I know that's the answer. But I'm pretty sure... Shit. I could have sworn some of them even tried at some other point to be Batman, but I know it's Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, so it is Cillian Murphy. That's the correct answer. You're 3 for 3 so far. The cool thing, I think one of them might. I don't think Tom Hardy was. Aaron Eckhart might have, but I think Cillian Murphy was the only one on this list, obviously, that I mentioned, who made it to like screen testing phase.
Yeah,
so
he
he
got
was
screen test.
doing screen testing, and I think he almost got the role, and they liked him so much that they just wanted to include him as Scarecrow. And did you know actually Scarecrow?
He's in
you
all
probably
3
do
films.
know is in all 3 films.
Right.
He's
I was thinking
got
about that
smaller roles in the last 2, but yeah. Anyways, you're doing well so far.
Thanks.
But they get a little harder.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
I feel the pressure.
Which of these directors does Nolan consider to be a major influence? Was it A, Alfred Hitchcock, B, Stanley Kubrick, C, Steven Spielberg, or D, Tommy Wiseau?
It's D. It's Tommy Wiseau. No, it's Stanley Kubrick.
Okay, good.
It's Stanley Kubrick.
Good.
I know that one.
Good. You know, obviously he's got good taste in movies.
Shut up.
Obviously. You don't understand.
Kubrick would have loved Tenet, Nick.
No, I don't think so. All right. All right. Number 5. Question number 5. How many Nolan films has Michael Caine appeared in? Was it A, 8, B, 9, C, 7, or D, 45?
45? Where did that number come from?
I don't know. Was he in 45 Nolan films, Niko?
I didn't know he had 45 films. I think we already answered this. It would be 8.
That's correct. That is correct. He was in 8 movies. He was in 8 of his movies. And then very small role in Dunkirk, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then we've got 3 more questions. You can only afford to get 1 wrong. And you know what? You're doing so well that I'm taking away your hint. You don't get a hint on any of these anymore.
Sure.
All right. Christopher Nolan recently left Warner Brothers, who he had done every film between, I think he done every film between Batman Begins and Tenet with Warner Brothers. Which studio of these is the new studio that he's going to be working with? Is it A, Disney, B, Paramount, C, 20th Century Fox, or D, Universal?
It's Paramount, right?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's Paramount.
That is incorrect.
Is it Universal?
It is Universal Studios. He's working with Universal Studios.
I thought Warner Bros. Was just like a subsidiary of Universal.
No, I don't think so. I think they have the Harry Potter connection, but I don't
that was
think.
It?
Yeah, I don't. Or I
see.
think like Universal just has the rights to do that theme park thing. But you can check me on that after check me on that. But from my research and from what I remember reading, it's with Universal.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, you don't have any room for error.
That's fine.
But I think this next one's a little bit of a freebie here for you. This is a true or false one.
Tommy Wiseau.
This is a true or false. Nolan and his director of photography or cinematographer, Wally Pfister, they shot The Dark Knight Rises using a mix of digital cameras and physical ones with celluloid. Is this true or false?
It has to be true.
Is that your final answer?
Wait, fuck. Yeah.
That's your final answer?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong?
It's wrong.
I could have sworn.
It's wrong. I don't know if it used digital effects, but I think that movie used entirely celluloid cameras. Yeah, I think it was shot mostly in IMAX, which is
shit. Then I need
Nolan. I don't think Nolan has shot a movie digitally.
No, he mixes digital sometimes.
Effects maybe, but I don't think he's shot digitally with cameras yet.
But you can't add add like visual effects onto film.
No, you can.
No, you add it onto digital.
Okay, I don't think he. I might be wrong about this one.
But he uses it like sparingly if he does digital.
Yeah,
ever.
I don't think he was doing that in 2012 because the state of digital cameras in 2012 were not probably up to Nolan's standards.
No.
And actually, I saw a documentary about this that I think was. I don't know. I don't think he was doing it at that time.
The only thing I'm curious about then is like how did they film the shot up in Hancock or no, not Hancock. Fucking Hong Kong, when Batman jumps off the building and is actually gliding.
That one's in The Dark Knight.
Wait. Yeah, it was for The Dark Knight, right?
Yeah, but I was talking about The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, but even in The Dark Knight, there's no way. 2008 digital cameras kind of sucked.
Wait, then how did they film like the fucking explosion at the end?
Of The Dark Knight?
That had to be digital.
Of The Dark Knight Rises? Maybe it was. I don't know.
I would think it would.
I don't think so. But okay. We'll see, but maybe I don't know.
Whatever. I'll go with what you say.
Anyways, you have a. You know what?
What are the next two?
I don't know.
Are there two more?
If I want to buy you lunch because you already missed 2.
It's fine.
No, there's one more.
I don't need lunch.
Niko,
I don't need any.
Going to starve.
I'm just gonna starve.
Poor starving boy. The last one. At age 19, how did Nolan meet his wife?
How the fuck do you think I know this?
Yeah,
let's see.
I told you they were gonna get harder.
Yeah, well, why would I know this?
On a trip to Brazil is option A. B, in a video store. C, at university in London as a 19-year-old. Or D, at a strip club. where did Christopher Nolan meet his wife?
Okay. So, knowing my test-taking capabilities.
Do you want me to read your options to you again?
No. I got this. Knowing my test-taking capabilities. Occasionally, if a teacher or a professor, whoever, gives you a question with an answer that's so random and that you wouldn't expect that one to be correct, sometimes it is correct. Thinking about it, I think I've heard where he met his wife. I don't think it was the strip club. But the fact that you included it...
Well, you already lost lunch anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But like... fuck. I thought he met his wife.
All right, I'll give you a hint. He was 19 years old when he met his wife.
That doesn't change
I don't know
anything.
if that changes your answer.
That changes nothing. You can walk into a club, I think, when you're 18, right?
Maybe. I mean, well, technically, yeah, but...
I don't think he met his wife at a strip club. I'm gonna be baffled if that's.
Do you want me to read the other options?
No, I'm between B and C, right? That was
university
and video store.
So A is on a trip to Brazil, B in a video store, and C at university in London.
I'm between B and C. I don't know which one though. I'll just go university.
That is correct. He met his wife at university in London.
Not at a strip club?
Not at a strip club. I mean, well, it could have been in a strip club on the university. I don't know. I didn't read that.
On the university?
In the university. I don't know.
The university's paying.
He was 19 years old. I don't know. Nolan, you see the dude walk around in his suit jacket. You think that dude's going to strip clubs?
Like, that's what I would think. No.
This is off the rails. We're over an hour at this point.
All right. Well, do you know who filmed The Following?
No, but I know that movie had an insanely low budget. Who filmed it? We didn't talk about
He filmed
that.
all of it.
Oh,
himself.
Okay.
And they did it like 15 minutes a day. Like, because him and his friends, that's who the movie is about. They just like filmed it 15 minutes a day because they were all busy. They all had work schedules and things, and they had to work around it.
That's really impressive. I gotta see that movie.
I think we'll watch it at some point.
Yeah.
But it's his amateur work. I don't think anybody's going to watch it. Any of our listeners are going to watch it.
Probably not, but it's it's a part of his. I think that's
catalog,
his only feature film that we. Is it a feature film technically that we haven't seen?
I don't know.
But yeah, that's that. You didn't win the trivia.
That's okay.
Unless you did, which we got to check on that. If you did, if we check on this later, we'll bring it up in a later podcast whether or not Niko won the trivia for real.
It really doesn't matter.
But to my knowledge, and the point of that question, I guess I should have just done it with an earlier movie because I was trying to give you a freebie with that one. To my knowledge, Nolan just hates digital cameras.
Yeah, and that's what I know too.
And I think I saw... So I watched a documentary that I think was made around the time Inception came out. So that was 2010, where he was like, I have never and probably will never use... He said, they're getting better, but I don't know if I'm ever going to use digital. And Wally Pfister also appeared in that and said, I hate digital. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen Dark Knight Rises
some of his comments.
That, but.
And from what I remember, I thought it was he doesn't like using them all the time. He would use digital sparingly if a shot requires it. Like, if they had to blow somebody up, like actually blow someone up, then they would be like, okay, sure, we'll do it. But like,
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe he writes.
Don't know.
Maybe he writes so he doesn't have to do that. Generally, this dude is like one of the last filmmakers around that's like just in love with celluloid, and he's like, I will never ever go to freaking digital.
Yeah,
so.
He says he likes doing the whole process of getting your dailies, seeing how all the film turns out after your day of shooting.
Which I would hate as a director. With how good digital cameras are today.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to see how the shot looks while you're shooting it instead of having to wait 24 hours to find out.
But hey, it's up to him. I mean, he obviously knows what he's doing.
He clearly knows what he's doing, as we've raved about him for the last hour. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm correct about this, but we'll check it just to make sure. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. We're on the third camera now. Thank you guys for listening. If you've listened the whole way here, This is a big, long episode that we're releasing while we're going to release this in August while it's kind of a dead time for movies. Sort of. I don't know. There's some movies that we'll be catching up on. We'll be a little late on Bullet Train and maybe Bodies. Those are the two I think we wanted to see. But
we're going to see DC League of Super Pets soon.
We will. Well, no, this will release after that. So, but yeah, thank you for listening.
We've seen DC League of Super Pets.
Okay, yeah, we've seen it. It was fantastic. The Rock was so good.
10 out of 10, baby.
Right. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you.
Christopher Nolan, if you ever want to come on the potty, let us know.
On the potty, yep. If Christopher Nolan wants to come on the potty.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let us know.
All right. Thank you guys for listening.